passion and commitment, another Habitat hero, Shiro. Our next speaker, Keith Bancroft, is an MMWD veteran, and I credit Keith and his team in creating the very well-written guide that's in your bag of goodies, the watershed landscape. So, Keith, where are you? There you are. Thank you so much for coming today. So, welcome, Keith Bancroft.
All right, thank you very much. So this is going to be kind of like an infomercial. So it's kind of a break. So I have a tendency to speak quickly, and with the time limit, I might speak even more quickly. So better to finish early than to have time to wait on the clock.
Do you see the clicker there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Use the down arrow.
The down arrow.
Is it upside down?
Second ahead of ourselves. So basically, I'm here to talk about our book. This was a book that we completed in 2018, and I do want to, in full disclosure, say basically we copied another book. But it was a book that actually sought a conference. It was actually created for the city of Beverly Hills, and it's the watershed approach for Beverly Hills of all things. And I saw it, and I just thought it was fantastic. And the person, Pamela Bursler of Green Gardens Group in Southern California, is the person who actually put that the actual book together. So she gave a presentation, and I approached her afterwards and said, I want that for our agency. And she was delighted to do it. So basically, full disclosure, about 85% of the book is the exact same book that they have, because the principles and the concepts apply universally. But the other 15% or so was actually making it for our area. So making a plant list and other things that are applicable to our area. So I do want to give credit where credit's due. So it is in your bags. I see some people. Feel free to pull it out and flip through it because it's more interesting than me talking about it. But I do want to give credit where credit's due. So on the inside front cover, there's some acknowledgments and Pamela Bursler's names in there. Two other people that were, this book could not have happened without them. One person is Charlotte Torgovitsky, who some of you may recognize her name. She's a board member of the Marin chapter of the California Native Plant Society. She's a wealth of knowledge. Many of her personal photographs and photographs of her garden are actually throughout the book. So without her and her input, it would not have happened. Also, Charlene Berge, who's a former co-worker of mine. She was in charge of all of our large landscape programs in the Conservation Department, and she was a wealth of knowledge as well. And so basically between the two of them, my job was actually to go find smart people, knowledgeable people, and bring them in and make this book happen. And I think I did a pretty good job of picking the right people. So basically, this is a concept, and everything that's been discussed already today, this book kind of encompasses that. And so basically, it's a guidebook in the true sense of the word. So it's meant to guide you through the process of creating essentially a sustainable landscape. So the watershed approach is just kind of this particular phrasing given to basically sustainable landscaping. There are other terms that are out there. You've heard bay-friendly landscaping, or Russian River-friendly landscaping, or fill-in-the-blank friendly landscaping. And they're all basically sustainable landscape concepts drawn out with their own, just basically using their own name. So it's meant to be a source of information and hopefully also a source of inspiration. Just looking through it, I remember when I first grabbed it and looked through it, there were several pages. There was a page on pollinator gardening, and there was a picture of a hillside that's in there, and I thought, that's my backyard. That's what I want to know about. So I was inspired enough to make the book for our customers. And it's dedicated, it's actually geared toward the homeowner, because residential homeowners are our biggest sector of our customer base. So it has a plant list in the back. It's over 110 water-wise or climate-appropriate plants. Those plants, as a point of interest, The plants never repeat in the book, so if you see yarrow on page 3, you're not going to see it again on page 23 or 47 or 52. That was intentionally done so that there was many examples of plants throughout the book as we could get to the different sections. It has landscape design tips, and the design is just a crucial part and where you should really put a huge amount of effort and time into the design, actually, of your garden. There's gardening how-tos. For instance, if you have a lawn area and you want to convert that, or at least part of it, to a more sustainable landscaping, it talks about things of how to do something like sheet mulching and walks you through the steps of that. And it also has in the back a resource section of local nurseries and other resources, and I put a little asterisk in here because as soon as you print a book, it's out of date. And roughly about, hopefully there's no connection to this, but about 3 months after we printed it, one of the gardens, the book, The Garden of St. Tiburon, closed. So I'm hoping that wasn't a reflection of us or the book or mentioning it. We're keeping track of that and see what kind of mortality rate we have. I should point out that the nurseries that were selected with the input of Charlotte and Charlene mostly were ones where they felt someone could go and actually talk to a knowledgeable person, not just, I'm not going to mention any other names, but not just kind of a factory type of store where you're going in. We could actually find somebody and actually give you good horticultural information. So you're all supplied a free copy here today. The book is also available for free at our offices. So if you take the book home and your friend, somebody looks at it and says, hey, this is great, where can I get it? You can go to our office in Corte Madera and just walk in and ask for a free copy. It's also made available to local libraries. So if you want to go check it out, you can go grab that. There's about 30 copies floating around the different libraries. And also, you can download it, and we actually met somebody today who said they had already done this. You can download a PDF version, electronic version, from our website at marinwater.org/WAL for Watershed and Coastal Landscaping. So basically, it covers a lot of the topics that have already been discussed today, about paying attention to the design and the features of your landscape, what you have and what you want, building healthy soil, retaining water on the property. That's basically, like in this picture, either having a rain chain that goes down into a dry creek bed or swales or something else to keep that water that would otherwise run off the property, to kind of slow it down, spread it out, and let it sink down actually into the soil on your property to recharge that soil. And in choosing climate-appropriate plants, ideally California natives, because as has already been discussed today, if you have the native plants, they've evolved with native animals or wildlife, and so they then support that particular, particular wildlife regionally here. And also, it talks about managing supplemental irrigation, and that's an important concept. Is basically every time you irrigate, that is supplemental irrigation, because natural irrigation is rainfall. Rainfall doesn't supplement what you do with your sprinkler system. It's the other way around. So basically, if you have lawn or something else that's not climate appropriate and you're irrigating it throughout the summer, that's because it's not used to or adapted to our Mediterranean climate. So that's even important even if you aren't going to change your landscape. It's really, really important to look at your irrigation system, because most irrigation systems overwater anywhere from 25 to 50%. Just from inefficiencies. So it's something that we are quite concerned with. So this is the table of contents. Obviously, you can just kind of look and see there's a bunch of different areas. The book is 70 pages long. There's no way I'm going to go through, or you would want me to go through, page by page of this book. What you could do, if you're interested in, is we have, unfortunately, there was a pamphlet that didn't get into your bags, but there's a series of 6 classes that are available that is through the College of Marine Community Ed. So it's not in your bags, but if you have something you want to write down, you can go to marinecommunityed.com. You can just search for the term watershed, and it will pull up a class list. So there's 6 classes. They're about 2.5 hours each on Saturday morning. 4 of them take place at the Kentfield campus and 2 up at the Novato campus because they've got an organic gardening out there that's instrumental in those particular classes. I do want to point out the 2 instructors, they actually approached me with the idea of creating this class. They created the curriculum, but the Watershed Approach book is the class textbook. So it's really nice to sit back and have somebody come and say, hey, I did all this work for you. That's great. So one of the instructors is Charlotte Torgovitsky, who I mentioned on the technical advisory committee for the book. The other is Talia Drahim. Talia is actually in the audience today. She's one of the instructors. She's a landscape designer. And both Charlotte and Talia's home gardens are going to be on a garden tour. It's on Saturday, May 2nd. It's a regional garden tour, and it's free, but you do need to register before you go on that garden tour. And I just wanted to point out that if you, that if you are interested in taking these classes, that the feedback from Talia and Charlotte I got was, although you can take them individually, you can kind of look and see if there's one that actually speaks to you or is of particular interest to you. They basically stated that the first class is really fundamental and other things build on it. So if you're thinking about taking at least one class, really think about taking the first class as a foundation. And they found that out because actually the first class was canceled because of the PG&E power shut off, and they couldn't reschedule it. And so going through, they realized, oh, that was actually really important because the different concepts build on that. So hopefully we'll get through without any problems this next time. So class starts on April 4th. It's 6 Saturdays in a row, except for this particular Saturday that's right in the middle, and that's because both of the instructors, their gardens, are actually on the tour. So let's see. Okay. She might ask, why is a water district promoting a watershed approach to landscaping? Why are we promoting? We get this sometimes actually from other employees as to why there's a department within an agency to try to use less of what we sell, so to speak. And it's interesting when I point out to people, you know, we're not Coca-Cola. We're not trying to make profits here. We're a not-for-profit agency, and we're trying to do the best for our customers. So I'll start with this. So actually, how many people here are MMWD customers? Okay, quite a bit. Any guesses? So we have, technically, it's a 3-source